here we go. Here we go. Anyway, am I gonna get cut off? So I need to like kind of adjust it. Flanks. Flanks. I have something crazy to talk about. This is so nuts that your grandma's gonna want to see him. It is about, I don't even know how, the format. I don't even know how to format this. Essentially, we're gonna connect what Freyden was doing in the Murphos and the purging of the descendant line, the banished descendant line. I don't know what I'm calling it yet. It doesn't quite have an actual name, but we're just going to go with that. So, Freyden in Murph. We got to figure out why. Purging of descendant. I did not spell that right. I think I did. So, we have two things that I'm trying to see if I can connect them in some way. If I cannot connect them in any way whatsoever, I'm going to have to rewrite the beginning. I'm already thinking about doing it, so this is like just... this is just like, are you going to do it or not kind of thing. That's what's happening. So, we need to write what we know. What do we know about both of these? Well, the purging of the descendant line. Why do they need to purge the descendant line? Pure and simple, the whisper. I'm just going to say influence. The whisper's influence is to gain truth of the reality of the situation. Now, if we remember about how the whisper is looked at as... Hold on. Okay, hopefully use that as thumbnail. The whisper's influence is basically changing it to the truth of the situation. So the whisper is not what we're led to believe throughout most of the book. In fact, the whisper is not what he appears. And curious if this will work. And with that being said, it also gives it a little bit of a boost. Oh, it's like fucking with it. It's like, dog! Yeah, that didn't do so good for it. Anyway, yes, the whisper. He's definitely doing something different that the reader will discover in time. That's the purpose of this side of the situation, and that Mardis and the Slot King, M and S, so that's these guys. That's why they would need that gone. In some point in history, I'll have to create that they purge the Descendants at some point. Relatively early on, I guess. No, not relatively early on. Relatively close to the date that the book starts, because of Eris being born. So that must have happened like between 16 to 18 years ago. I gotta figure that out. Why the fuck, essentially, why did they go into the Murphos? Freyden and into the Murphos. Why did they need to do that? I think because I gotta remember how it affects the story later on. So I kind of have to keep this, I guess. Because they go to the Murphos. They have to. And this whole fucking thing is just... I don't know. I don't really know... I guess when I wrote that part, I was trying to kind of get you into what's going to happen, going into the Murphos. That was the whole point of that. I gotta try to keep it. again, the whole purpose of this video is how can these be connected? And I don't really know, because we know that Ravian's out there, and we know that he has a truth of, there had to have been, like, okay, so I'm imagining Ravian is saying that, because I'm trying to remember what I actually wrote in the story, not what my lore is. I don't think he really spoke to Eris exactly. I'm wondering if Ravian understands the same thing that the cult understands. The cult of Thessarius. So, like, does Ravian and the cult of Thessarius, do they have the same intent and understanding? So the cult understands the whisper. The whisper is all, and the king. If he understands the real truth of the matter, that Ravian plays a part in this whole thing here, why did these banished descendants, are they working in tandem with Ravian? I imagine that Ravian was the creator of this new, what's the word I'm thinking of? This new prophecy. Ravian's like, no, you don't need to save the king. The king doesn't need saving and all this shit. You're just being lied to. There is no saving of the king. This whole time you've been, you know, like that. Like, Ravian was saying that. I imagine that we could just say he understands the truth that the cult understands. The members of the cult at some point in history, because remember, Ravian was alive between, I don't remember, it was like 12... when did Ravian die? 1313. So that's something to 1313. In that time, which was what, 300 years ago-ish, he would have had to have been with this cult. And we know that the cult's been around since... When did... So if Thessarius was the one, and he would have been his grandson, he lived to about 617. I would say we could maybe extend his life a little bit. 200 years. 717. I don't know how many years that is. From 428 to 717, but he lived a fucking while. As the, whatever the thing's called, the fucking document I'm working on, Eclectus was the son, blank years, the grandson of Eclectus was Eris's father. So Eclectus was maybe the grandson of, because the issue in my mind is why I'm halting on this. Ravian is from the other side. Ravian was born, I mean, he might not have been. It doesn't have to be anything. I keep forgetting that this is not set in stone. I can actually change something if I want. But Ravian did stuff in Santorum and then fled to the Murphos, and that's where he established his hold. We can move dates if we have to. Like, we can move his death far later and say, no, he didn't die in, I think it was 1313. He died in 1398. He could be part of the descendant line as well. He could be a grandson or a great-grandson. The his son could be... yeah, I'm thinking. His son could be Eclectus. And then Eclectus could have this not named person who had Eris. Ravian could be in the descendant line. So we're finding a connection. So we're going to say that Ravian is a part of this. Ravian. Bam. Descendant. So that's a stupid word to spell out. Why is there a skin? Raven is a part of the descendant line. That's how it's all connected. Big question. What was... Ooh. Okay. What was the fucking Purge descendant line doing in the Murphos? They might have fled. The idea was they fled north. Well, they had land in the north. The descendants of... I think it's not Thesaurus, I think it's Theseus. The descendants of Theseus, they took the lands to the north. Maybe when the Purge happened, it might have happened, let's say, in a vault, or it might have happened in some sort of cathedral or Colosseum in southern Navalia. Maybe they fled into the Murphos. And time went by. So this is before Ravian. Theseus's child, whoever, established, I don't know, I don't want to call it a kingdom out there, but they thrived. Then they sent Ravian to the Tantorum basically, to gather followers. So it's kind of, I mean, it's very blasphemous, I know, but it's like that's the Christ, you know what I mean? Like that's the one who's like, we're gonna go, I'm gonna preach this word or whatever about the whisper, about the real truth. I'm gonna take the followers and we're gonna go to Adrana. And the followers will then lead the mass exodus of the true people of Navalia. Sorry, the true people of mankind or some shit. Because as you know, it's kind of being established that they're growing in Adrana at this time, so and that's what basically that is why Freydin would be out in the Murphos crushing the last of the followers of him. Because maybe Freydin is taking serious this whole, oh, there might be a kid that was born X amount of years ago. And they're thinking like, well, if he's out there, he's with these, I forgot what they're called, but I just remember the Oral 10 people. That might just be it. And this sending back, you know, like maybe like, oh, we quelled them that we believe, and we're going to bring back this leader, and we're going to sacrifice him in front of everybody to make a fucking statement. That if that kid's out there, or anyone in cahoots with him, or whatever, this will send a message, kind of thing. That's got to be it. That's the whole fucking thing. I just got to remember all this. Thankfully, I'm recording it. This could be how it all happens. It's amazing that I wrote all this, and I wrote a whole first book, and I don't even have this shit solved. Luckily, I think it fits enough for... Thankfully, I didn't go into detail in the book about what's really going on. It's more just like, we don't know, you're just going to go here now you're going to go there. That would explain... And again, it could just be editing little dialogue segments of the two Tan mages, Jal and Vasha. Just editing a few things that they say to be able to make it all fit. But it does make sense why they're so enamored with Eris. Like, oh, you're the fucking chosen one, you know? This could be it. This could solve every fucking problem that we have. Yes, that's... Huh. It's kind of, that was a little easier than I thought it was going to be, you know? It's almost as if this shit's not that hard, I just make it hard. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Like, if I can make that all really, really work, and again, just kind of go over this and listen back and just make sure I have it all written down and keep it in my head so we can move forward. And I think we're golden. I mean, what else? I don't know if I have any questions right now. Do I have any questions? The Asuk and all that stuff are the ones on the side of, I don't know what the true line they would call it, maybe, like Freyden and Judan and all that shit, and the Avens and everything. They're the ones that are dictating all this stuff happening and making it all so, because it is a part of their agenda with the Slop King and with his kind of takeover of mankind to become this worshipped being. And the reason he needs to be this worshipped being is because worship brings power. He needs that power to finally rise up and in his mind take what the Forgotten King has. Being inside the realm of creation. Nobody knows where this realm is. They think it might just be, oh, it's in this circle. And inside the circle, it must be in the center. Because that's where everything spins out, right? I've said it 100 times, or probably 20. That may not be true. It may not have an actual place. It may be outside of the universe. And it's kind of leaking in, you know, or soaking into the universe from the blackness around what is the universe. Could just be that easily. No one knows, but that's what the king is. If people drew it, they'd think it was in the middle of the universe. Like, it's right here. It's like we're right in the center. And that's where everything expands out from. There was a point to which the Big Bang happened, and then it goes out. That must be where creation is. But it might not be. Like a grenade. Just throw it this way, and then it'll right there. Like, well, that must have been where the explosion happened. Like, well, technically it happened here. Like, so I was the one who lit it, you know? Or whatever other analogy makes sense. I'm thinking that Mardus, who is basically going to become this, like, and I don't know proper terms, but he is going to be the ruler of Adrana. And this ruler of Adrana needs this army, and he's kind of in ways infiltrating the fucking Aduric's Chantry, which is the church of the regular people. He's already infiltrated with the Asuk, who are pretending to be human beings but are not, and no one knows that they are. Like, we're gonna get rid of that lore of, like, well, the Valanders came over. Like, they don't know. They think they're people. They're shapeshifters. They are in control of the higher side of society, and with the whole trial process that was described of what happened to Theseus turned to stone, which is a very rare thing that happens. This is how they're creating their army. They're harvesting the souls without them even knowing it, so that they can use them in battle, right? To do the final takeover of all society, of all mankind, to unite man under one banner. And he's doing shit with Van and Steer and Tantor. We're not going to get into that fucking shit, because then that's just like, that we can figure out later. But they have society there. Another question that I had was, did the kicking off of Freyden being killed and all this and that, how much do they really know about that? Mardus, the Asuk, and then their royal guard and all that shit, the capo and everything. How much did they know that that might happen? Because remember, And I don't know how it's written, but we got to remember, Quartus and his minions work for fucking Martis. So these people, I don't know how I wrote it, like the followers, I think they were just men. I got to make sure, I really need to make sure, bam, remember, that they have to be men because they work for Aval. They are with Martis. That's why he's chasing him. The whole Serpentine thing, where they were going to get Freyden and they were going to do this, like that stupid shit over there with Cypherus and Jahir and those other fuckers, Rolius and all them. How much did the Ossic and Martis know about this? I thought I brought this up in a video previously, or a fucking document, I don't even remember anymore. And I don't remember what I said. Like, did they kind of know about it, you know? Did they, like, they know about the Descendant thing happening. They know they might have crushed all of them, there just might be a few remaining. So they know that stuff, and so they gotta go to Murphos, they gotta send a message, you gotta find these people, and blah blah blah. They need to wipe that fucking line out. Because that line is a direct threat to, like, Aeg Beovac and Martis. They know the Whisper is a big threat, and they can't fuck with that. They need that gone. And perhaps Eris is like, if he's young enough, he's not influenced enough by, so maybe they could fucking do something about this. Maybe. I don't know. We gotta think of that a little bit more. So dive into that more. Like, well, you know, why kill that line and all them, like, but not Eris? Maybe they could use him in some way, shape, or form that's different from his father and grandfather and all that stuff. Those guys were in hiding, so they could have used them, and maybe that's what it is. Like, did the father die or kill himself? So I don't know if he did. We need to figure that out too. Like, how did his father die? When did his father die? Before Eris's birth. Little questions like that. I should write these down. Okay. I wish I remember the other questions, but I don't. Shit's all stream of consciousness. Number 1. When did Eris's father die, and how? Why did what's his name? Reagan. I put that backwards. When did Eris's father die and how? Why did the Ossic not take the father or the grandfather? Why not Ravian? Like, why does this line have to be gone? Because of the Whisper. Why do they need Eris? Will be another one. Why do they fucking need him? I don't remember the other ones. It's on here. If I can just listen back to it. What else do we need to know? I guess, like, go into figure out Ravian's journey and story. Remember, I say he's the Christ, so he kind of goes over to Tantorum to do that shit. And then the whole, oh my god, Doveniks, I think they were called, the Doveniks, chase them, the clan Destin? Yeah? Is that who it was? Clandestine that chases them out to the Murphos and Battle of Falcor Hill and this and that. Any other things I can't think to remember? Where's your cousin at? Why is he sexy? Let me see. I think that's really all I can think of right now. But it's good to know that I didn't have to do a full fucking rewrite and just change it and then all of a sudden everything else goes crazy too. Where it's just like, oh, well, none of this makes sense. Like, oh my god, that'd be terrifying. That was very short. I'll kind of mull this shit over. What time is it? It's 4:08. I'll kind of mull it over a little bit and then I'll return with developments to nobody. Really, I don't even know who this is for. Why do I record this shit? I'm not even sure. But yeah. The basket. Until the next one.